Go. Il n'y avait pas de hobby sur le front. Pas de hobby sur le front. Il faudra supprimer mon audio aussi.
Hello and welcome back to MDG Media. We are back for the round 2 back 9 of the 2025 Eastern Meadows Open presented by RocketDiscs.com. My name is Elias Luukkonen and on the right hand side of myself is Mr. MDG Maxime Tanghe.
Hey yo everybody, hope you're fine, hope you enjoyed the front nine. Let's go out of the woods and enjoy some windy open holes.
Let's go. We're gonna have one more wooded hole on this back nine and then, as you said, the wind is gonna be pretty tricky today. Not quite as strong as in round 1 as we had some insane wind in round 1, but still definitely one of the windier courses I think we have on tour.
I'm pretty sure about that. So Clay Edwards in the lead, 13 down overall, 5 down through 9 on the second round, and then other players chasing a lot of Finnish guys. Elias, Luukkonen, Lauri Lehtinen, Eetu Tuominen and Nestori Tukanen playing pretty strong on those first holes. Let's see what's happening on the first hole of the back nine, hardest hole on the course, I'd say. Do you agree with that?
I agree with that, and actually the stats agree with that, as the wind is slightly more down on the back nine. This hole is playing with a 5.06 average, so close to a par 5. Want to throw a straight shot that turns exactly through here, so you can throw a backhand turnover, forehand hyzer that lands on the grass is also good. If you're on the grass anywhere, you still have almost an impossible approach, so good luck with that. You might throw a backhand turnover that hits the left side of the fairway. You might throw some scrambly shot through the woods if you're in a bad spot. The most important thing here is to just try to hit the gap you're aiming for, both of the tee on the second shot, probably on your third shot, because let's be honest, you're not getting a birdie on this hole.
So hard. But let's say the first shot is the most important of all. If you are able to go out of this tunnel, you will be in position to probably have a manageable par and maybe even a birdie if you're able to do a beautiful second shot.
Agreed. This first tree off the tee, that's actually not the first tree, that's the second tree. So Hjalte being a little bit unique there. Yeah, that's a tricky spot. He still did get some distance, so he has a theoretical chance to get a par, but it's pretty much a bogey now, at best for Hjalte.
Come on, drift.
Too late on the turn.
Yeah, but pretty okay. He's right side of the fairway. He's gonna be able to go forward on the next without too many troubles.
That was a bit turned. He wanted to be moving right instead of left there. We're gonna see some scrambles on this hole. We'll try to do our best to explain what the players are trying to do here. So the Hjalte is probably trying to throw something with a bit of a turn and get as far down there as possible.
Oh. This is gonna be really tough. Still scrambling on the third shot.
Emil, he's on the left side, so trying to throw a flex forehand to the grass. Actually really well done there. He has a chance for par. It's a slim chance, but it's a chance. Little Elmer Forstig on the caddy duties there. A young talented player from Sweden. This is looking great. Oh, never mind. Actually still pretty nice.
Very nice kick.
Yeah. Almost putting for the birdie there. That's going to be an easy par. Really what you want on this hole is that easy par.
Looked like a very early release for Tuomas.
I think what tells about the difficulty of this hole, as Hjalte is scrambling on the left side here, hitting a tree, is that I had a Samuel Hanninen on my card watching this hole, and he offered me a bet that he's gonna give me €5 if I don't hit a single tree on this hole. So
Only €5.
just €5, but still showing how unlikely on this hole it is to play without hitting a single tree, just to offer that bet for free. Now this shot looks really nice. Let's see if he reached the basket here. Even going long.
Pretty good to be too long on this green, I guess. Slightly uphill. If you're too short, it can be scary.
So Tuomas here, they have opened up this right side gap, so you can go for a forehand turnover or hyzer here. Beautiful shot, still a bit long. Not the easiest of shots to slow down. We're going a little bit downhill on the approach, so even though it's already very difficult with the line, you have to even control the speed a bit better than just flat ground.
Good upshot. Good scramble for Hjalte. And Clay.
There you go. That should be the easy par for him that he was undoubtedly looking for.
Oh my god. Deserved better. You're definitely grabbing some strokes on the field with a par on this hole.
Yeah, absolutely. And even on the lead card here, everybody besides Clay struggling a little bit. I think it's interesting on this hole how 2/3 of the field is getting a bogey or worse, and only 1/3 is getting a par.
Clay is still bogey free on the tournament. Pretty impressive.
Do you think he's the only player in the field to do that?
I'm not sure. But this is a course where if you are able to avoid the mistakes, you're gonna be around Clay's score for sure. And he's doing it very nicely. Hole 11 now.
Hole 11. The hole itself is not that difficult. It's 111 meters, plays really good for a straight to fading forehand. The problem here, or you can even throw a straight backhand, hopefully hit the slope just before the basket. The problem here is that we're gonna have a strong right to left headwind. So if you throw that forehand, you have to throw something very stable or control the angle very nicely to not turn over to the left side OB or to the right side woods. You can even find OB on the right side of the right side woods. So yeah, very important to hopefully keep your shot on a nice height where it doesn't burn to the ground, but it doesn't get up and lifted by the wind.
Looks very good. Scary putt from there.
Beautiful angle control though.
Yeah.
I think that's what Clay is actually really good at with both backhand and forehand. He's really good with the angles. And Hjalte there. Can I have a long approach? Not what you want. He's inbounds though, so still chance for a par. Birdie on this hole is going to be really tricky today. Just 13 birdies in the field. Good power there, and looked like a pretty clean release as well, but just not an overstable enough disc to stand that headwind coming from the right. And this is when this hole gets tricky. When you have that approach from 50 meters, you still want to land it a little bit short, but if you're too short, you have a difficult putt. And Hjalte there, not quite keeping it on the left. Gonna be a tester from around 7 meters down there. Same thing there, just for Emil, it's gonna be for bogey. And Clay, another chance for an aggressive bid.
I mean, you can.
Right when I was mentioning he was still bogey free. First bogey of the tournament for Clay Edwards coming. As you were saying, this hole doesn't look that hard. But with the wind pushing, not that easy anymore. And a good par save from Hjalte, dead center.
And shout out on this hole, not from this round, but from our practice round. Maxime, you got the ace on this one. Congratulations.
Thank you, Elias. Very useful for the tournament. I took bogey on the first round and par yesterday. Hole 12, first par 5. Let's go.
Let's go, 262 meters. Now we actually have a favorable wind, so it's a tailwind coming from the left, as you're trying to throw as far as possible on the first shot while not turning it over to the right. So you want to throw something glidey, but hopefully somewhat stable. Fade around the big bush in the middle of the fairway, somewhere more towards the left side of the fairway than the right. Then you're gonna have a great angle on the second shot, hopefully get already inside the edge of these woods. And we have this beautiful grassy built fairway in the woods that used to be just pure woods, no grass, no fairway, but the course maintenance team here has done a great job building this into a clean fairway in the woods. Approach is gonna be uphill, pretty touchy. But yeah, it's mostly about the drive. Then the second shot is sort of an in-between shot, and then the approach is once again pretty important.
Thank you, Elias. And this is a huge drive from Hjalte.
Tuomas, the rumor says that he's throwing very far right now. And you can see the disc is just moving, even blowing past Hjalte's
What?
disc.
It's so far.
That's huge.
It's not just a rumor, it's the truth.
The cat is out of the bag. Oh no, this is looking like another bogey potentially for Clay.
Me.
No, it came
How on
out.
earth?
Great reaction from potential bogey to potential birdie. Those right side branches, they have a tendency to suck some discs inside of them if you aim at them accidentally. And let's see Emil there. Good drive on the right side, so he's not gonna have a great angle to get around the Mando tree. Clay here, just trying to pitch something around. That's a good spot, nothing wrong with that.
Still looking for the birdie from down there. And the too big thrower.
That's a good look at the wind that we're having today. And can you imagine that the wind was even higher yesterday?
So are we going to witness an eagle today?
This looks nice. Just get up there. Oh, last tree there. Pretty impressive how far they got off the tee to get to a spot where they can actually approach the green with a forehand. Usually if you want to get the eagle with normal, natural human power off the tee, have to throw a big turnover, but Tuomas, even with a straight forehand here, this is crazy. Wow. Just 10 meters for eagle, standstill forehand on a par 5 on the second shot.
He needs it. Very good from Tuomas. Clay now, third shot. As you can see, pretty clean line. This is so short.
Yeah, the approach plays much longer than you think. You're going sneakily more uphill than you think. It's probably 5, 6, 7 meters uphill from the second sweet shot if you're throwing just a normal shot.
Clay with two caddies. I don't think it's allowed, Rondo.
Yeah, I think the atmosphere seems to be a bit more relaxed in the Q series compared to the Elite. I think in an Elite series he would get violently beat.
Careful on the Elite events, guys. Fritjof is just waving in the lead card with the caddy bibs.
Let's see, Hjalte here. For eagle, big putt, just laying it up. I respect the play. Tough wind to run it. Tailwind from the right. But Clay, he has been running all of these putts. So I don't see him laying this one up. Ah, such a good run. This is what we want to see. Tuomas, great eagle. Look at that. Reading the tailwind perfectly, missing the line just slightly to the left, but perfect distance control on the putt. That's actually gonna be the only eagle of the day. Well done, Tuomas there. Exactly what he needed with a round score. That's not really ideal. But he gets a bit further on the par there.
So hole 13, back to some short holes.
Short hole, probably playing not as easy as some of the short holes we saw on the front nine. And the reason is not the hole itself. The shape is actually very easy. You just throw a high overstable sidearm through the gap. The shape is very natural for that stalling sidearm. But the thing is, if you throw your sidearm in a normal way, with the wind we have today, the wind is pushing super hard from left to right. So explode the flight plate on the hyzer angle and you're gonna end up 10-15 meters right of the basket. So I really wanna see these players going for much of a lower shot here. And Tuomas is doing that beautifully.
Bit too deep. Catching some late trees on the left side. Oh, so tight,
Whoa.
so early for Hjalte. That's not gonna be easy to save the par from there.
Yeah, that was pretty bad for being an early release. This is a much better looking line. Let's see if he ends up long or right. Just long. That's what the wind is also doing. It's hard for a disc to really stall out, because when it's trying to stall out, the wind just keeps pushing it.
This could be good.
Right. Yeah,
Very nice
very
shot.
nice. Just 8 meters, 7 meters. With a ripping right to left wind. That must be pretty scary.
From where he is, isn't it a tailwind? Emil?
I think it's gonna be a right to left.
We'll see.
We'll have to check. And Hjalte
Yeah,
there.
slightly.
Yeah, I think that's gonna be a tailwind. So Hjalte is gonna be happy with this angle, even though he doesn't want to have that 7 meter putt on. Honestly, a pretty easy hole for par.
And a good upshot for Tuomas.
Hjalte had some putting struggles on the front. And continuing here.
Come on, Clay. Oh, airball.
Yeah, right to left wind there. Just took the disc. And this one, important to keep the disc flat. Hopefully not on a lot of hyzer. There you go.
Very
Nice
good.
release. No, Emil is 1 over par, but really he's still in position to shoot an okay round if he can get a couple of birdies here on the back. There you go, few pars. Hjalte with the bogey and Emil gonna be taking the box. Hole 14, which to be honest is maybe the hole where you don't really want to have the box.
Yeah, just to have a sight of how the wind is reacting. Hole 14, island hole, 92 meters.
This one is tricky. It's really touchy. It's not long. You want to throw something extremely overstable in the wind that we have today, because the wind is pushing hard from left to right. So you want to go inside on the gap, so left side of the gap of the tee, just to get far enough left that you actually make the island. And hopefully land soft, don't skip away from the island or way to the left, because your putt, if you're more than 10 meters away from the basket, it's gonna be pretty much impossible. Pretty funny scoring average on this hole. It's averaging half a stroke above par, but 66% of the field is taking a bogey or worse. And Emil is gonna be one of them, unfortunately.
You need to bomb an overstable disc on this one. As strong as you can. And avoid this. Too much glide.
It's just impossible to get far enough to the left unless you go as inside as possible,
Yes.
as high as possible, with as overstable of a disc as possible.
Exactly what Clay is doing.
That's
Very
beautiful. Damn. He's good in the wind.
Yes.
See, Clay's not the player that throws the furthest. He doesn't have the most power, which usually I feel like is a trait that is associated with good wind players. They can throw that overstable disc on both sides, but he's just really good at reading what the wind is going to do. Now this drop zone, this is actually not even a gimme approach, as the wind is so tough. You can see these players are going with their overstable approach discs instead of putters, just to not get carried away by the wind. Even those putts are honestly no gimme. That's a good sit there, not to go over the log and OB. Clay's still gonna have a par here, which is a rare score. Only 14 players in the entire field were able to get the par. There you go, even with missed putt, taking a stroke on the entire card here on hole number 14.
Let's move on to the windiest hole on the course. Very hard to manage. Tell us about it.
For sure, second hardest hole on the course, averaging exactly at 6, so could be called a par 6, though it plays more like par 5, as you have 306 meters, which the distance doesn't do justice of how hard it is to reach the hole in 3 shots. In this wind we have a ripping headwind, so throw your most overstable disc off the tee. Hopefully that would be a distance driver. If it's not, you might throw your most overstable fairway driver. Try to get about 100 meters of distance. Same thing on the second shot, just stay in bounds, get that 100 meters. And then on the third shot, if you have thrown 2 perfect shots, you can actually think about going for the green. But many players just end up short of the green on their third and hopefully pitching up for the par. Par is gonna be a great score today.
Yeah, big throwers like Hjalte and Tuomas might be in a position to go for the birdie. And then us humans will settle for par.
Yeah, personally, I settled for an OB drive on this hole.
Oh, but this is gliding too much.
He's to sit down. Sit down.
Oh my god.
OB left.
Crazy reaction
unfortunate.
on the ground, bro.
Yeah, usually you see the spike hyzers really stick on this hole, not skip so much. See if Hjalte goes wide enough. He has a very overstable disc, so the flip is not going to be the problem, just the line.
Beautiful control from Hjalte. Exactly what he's looking for as the players are going towards their second shot. Clay now. Very good. If it sits,
Perfect.
everything you need.
Once again, reading the wind just perfectly. Hjalte
Oh,
going
super
high.
wide.
Wow.
Wow.
Aggressive, but
Aggressive, yeah.
I think he's gonna have a chance for birdie from there.
Good control.
Yeah, not the most exciting hole to watch, but I can guarantee you your heart rate on this hole is much higher than what it seems for these players. It looks like just boring hyzers, but it's incredibly difficult to get all of the distance if you want to go for the birdie here. Of course, the par is more simple if you have that very overstable disc in your bag. Now this is definitely a play for the birdie for Tuomas, trying to reach it with a forehand, and he's pin high there on the left. Putt he can run with a left to right wind, not much chance of a long comebacker.
Uh-oh.
Come back.
No.
No, yeah.
Nah, too wide from the start.
I think Hjalte has a good chance to birdie here. I believe even going fairway driver on the approach.
Hey!
That's perfect, look at that.
Yeah.
Great hole from Hjalte overall. It's gonna be an easy birdie. Parked. Doesn't have to care about the wind at all.
And look at this side arm. Oh, it's long.
Another OB.
Yeah, that's gonna be a big number for Emil. Let's see, Clay. So in round one he made a putt from about 5 or 10 meters further out. Apparently he was trying to lay up in round one, but accidentally made it. This time also close to the basket. And there you go, birdie. One of only 6 birdies in the field on this one. Do you think this is the longest playing 300-meter hole on flat ground that you have played?
In January 2026, MDG Media is heading to Senegal for a mission unlike any before. Not just to film disc golf, but to build it from the ground up. We will create the country's first ever disc golf course, visit local schools, donate discs and baskets, and share the game with communities ready to discover it. Through every step, you will be right there with us, thanks to a full-length documentary and live updates on social media. This is not just a one-time trip. It's about spreading the disc golf spirit and making a lasting impact. We truly believe that our sport can help make the world a better place.
Feel free to help us with that project, guys. It would be a pleasure to have you be part of it. Tell us about hole 16, Elias.
Hole 16, a few gaps off the tee. Most players are going for the middle gap out of the right, the middle of the left gap. You can throw a backhand flat with an overstable disc through the middle gap or on a slight hyzer. The wind is gonna help you push more left on this hole. So ideally you just try to miss a couple trees on the way. There isn't the clearest of fairways on the drive, but on the second shot, you usually don't end up always in the same spot, so you have to figure out your line from there. Usually it's going to be some sort of a hyzer approach from a good position. Yeah, let's see if the players can hit this first gap.
Ooh, very early tree kick for Hjalte, unfortunately. No birdies for Clay on the back nine. This is looking better. Deep, but left. He should be able to scramble his way to the green.
Yeah, you can see that Clay went with a bit of a hyzer release with that stable driver. I really like the flat release here, as Tuomas did. Look at that, he's gonna be no more than just 60 meters away from the basket.
Another stencil shot for Emil. Not the worst reaction on the tree. And Hjalte going through the woods. Beautiful scramble. No birdie opportunity. This should be an easy par. Manageable par, let's say.
Yeah, those 30-meter approaches are usually they are just cake. But in this wind, Not so easy. Emil with a similar result. No chance for birdie, but a par chance for sure. Now Clay, he has to throw over this ridge and hopefully something very overstable in his hand. Trying to fade with the wind. Couldn't see where that one was going.
Tuomas is gonna be around to go for a bird.
Oh wow, is Hjalte trying to make this? What's going on? Wow,
Wow.
big putt there. Emil, aggressive run. Should be okay for the par there. And let's see Tuomas, this is important for his score. Still hitting cage. So he's gonna be even par for the round through hole 16. Not ideal. Especially since today's conditions, while it's very windy still, it's slightly less windy than in round 1. So you would expect the scores to be a little bit better.
Good putt. Good save for Emil. +5 on the round, unfortunately. A very red scorecard on that back nine. Too many mistakes.
Yeah, our card not really dialing in on the back. And that's gonna be a problem for them because a lot of the players on other cards are actually playing quite solid right now. Moving on to hole number 17. 225 meters. It's gonna be playing really nice for a forehand off the tee. You have a left to right wind, so you can ride that hyzer angle, or ride the wind with your hyzer angle on the forehand, excuse me. Hopefully after a good drive you have about 110 or 115 meters left for your second shot into a straight tailwind into this elevated basket on top of a mound. It's gonna play once again really nice for a forehand approach. Wanna land a little bit short left of this mound and use that tailwind to skip your disc up to the mound. One of the trickiest putting greens on the course. Maybe the trickiest even.
I 4-putted it yesterday. C2.
I feel bad for you. Hjalte gonna be OB there. Easy mistake to make to go too far straight. Nicer angle here from Clay. You wanna hold that hyzer angle through the entire flight. That's gonna be perfect.
Another very controlled drive for Clay.
It's funny you mentioned that 4-putt because we actually were talking about before the tournament about how many 4-putts would be on this hole. And our estimation, we didn't realize it was going to be this windy. We thought that there might be 6 4-putts in the tournament on this green. But in this wind, it's definitely got to be more.
Yeah, you should just be safe, you know. Just park it. You're putting for birdie with a side wind on that mount. Just play wise and forget about it. It was just stupid.
So Tuomas here, he actually went early to the right side OB. Now trying to scramble for his bogey. And look at that roll. Making the 4th shot a little bit shorter for him. He has about 80 meters to go from there. So should be able to get up and down for the bogey there. And Hjalte on his 3rd shot. This is risking the OB on the right. Just on the line there. I think he's gonna be safe there. Let's see, Clay once again with that very controlled sidearm. And once again, very controlled, perfectly on the line. A bit short though, that's gonna be a scary, scary putt.
I'd say it's the best spot to be, as you will have the tailwind. No side wind or anything crazy. This might be the only location I would go for it on the 3rd round.
Yeah, I agree. I think if you want to pick a side, you definitely want to be short.
Uh-oh.
Oy, oy, oy. Yeah,
No.
unlucky.
Seriously.
Really unlucky there. Thought that was almost a perfect approach, but the wind plus the hillside can make some funny stuff happen. What is Was Hjalte trying to run that? Now this is where the 4 putts come into play potentially, but not for Emil.
When you don't have to lose anything anymore,
Yeah, that's
you
true.
just make those.
Very true. I think he's over the round already.
Wow, and he's going for it.
Of course, he's clay. Have you seen him lay up?
Not really.
That's gonna be a frustrating one for Tuomas.
This is gonna be
It's gonna
7.
Yeah, 7. Oof.
Whoa.
Little trip bogey there.
Triple bogey. Tough hole for our big throwers. 1 birdie though for Emil. Second green box on the back 9. Moving on to the last hole of this round. Beautiful finisher.
This hole, I agree, it's beautiful and it's actually quite easy compared to the rest of the back 9. It is the 4th easiest hole on the entire course, and considering that the front 9 was much easier than the back, I think this is the easiest hole on the back. You can have a straight putter shot, straight mid-range, straight fairway, whatever you feel comfortable with at this distance going downhill, or you can throw the easiest shot on the hole, which is going to be a forehand hyzer. If you have the forehand, you're probably going to it. Forehand is just very natural, flat or hyzer shot through the gap.
You think I should go forehand?
I think if you're Maxime Tanghe and your forehand maximum distance is about 78 meters, you shouldn't go for the forehand. But as you can see, all of these professional players who have a 110 meter forehand, they can easily reach the hole.
Good shot from Clay. And I will forget about what you just said, bro. Hjalte going forehand also. Pro player.
Beautiful,
Even
beautiful.
better.
And Tuomas, surprisingly with the backhand, of course he's more of a backhand player, he still has that forehand though.
Look at this.
Oh wow,
Why forehand?
beautiful. Putter shot? Do you think that was a putter?
Yeah. If I'm going putter, he's going putter.
Probably wishes there was a slower disc than a putter.
Burg. Come on, Emil.
Great putt to finish here.
To finish
Let's
good.
go.
Oh,
almost.
aggressive bid again.
Yeah, tough round for him.
You think so? Tuomas with a good birdie. To bounce back after the triple. Still under par overall.
Clay, this is to finish with a sizable lead. Only birdie of his scorecard on the back. So 5 under on the front, even par on the back. That's a solid round. Nothing wrong with 5 under there. A little 1032 rated round. He's gonna be happy. And Hjalte getting under par finally. With a lot of different colors on the scorecard there.
Up and down throughout the entire round for Hjalte. It feels like he can do great things.
I agree.
Great potential. As the players are checking their scores, let's see what's going on. And Elias Luukkonen is gonna be in your lead card on MDG tomorrow. Pretty exciting. Lots of Finnish players.
Yeah, Clay will have to fight off myself and, well, honestly, mostly Nestori Tuhkanen and Lauri Lehtinen on the lead card, so let's hope he is able to play well, but let's hope we're able to play better. Thank you guys for watching this round 2, and hopefully we can provide you with some more exciting action and some more exciting action tomorrow in the final round. See you there.
See you there, guys.